Oh yeah, well
I
that
wasn't
happened.
both meant to, but I just did to say I decided to work with them and stuff.
No, I love the proactivity. I love the proactivity. It shows keenness, it shows interest, don't be shy. I like that you should, if you're interested in them, you connect to them. Yeah, I want to talk to you, Raven, in a sec too. But first, Kim, you will raise something?
Kim, do you have any question?
Yeah, he's in class, so he's written it in the notes. So, everyone profile. A suggestion is the business owner should have the same to learn about which state the business is in. Yes, we do. Yeah, cool. We do have Silicon working with Pearly at Pallone, so you've got a bit of competition there for Pearly's very popular, so Cherry, watch out. Although we do have primary people and secondary people, so probably one of you will be primary and the other one will be secondary, and then you'll swap with, as in you'll help the other person on their account, whoever you're placed with. I don't understand. Kind of make CampusLife an exclusive version of Link. Oh yeah. Exactly. We want to be sort of the LinkedIn for students, because students tend not to gravitate to LinkedIn. It's not very user friendly for them because it's all about credentials and being professional. I feel like it's not kind of where they're at. So if we can make something, I mean, our app's very clunky, even though it costs lots of money to make. So I would love to make something that's much more dynamic and really fits with student life. So with the businesses, you can always look at the people on LinkedIn, look at where they're based. That's kind of what I normally do. Or if they don't have a company website, just their LinkedIn profiles will generally have their location. So it's probably a good start. Sorry, Pearly, I jumped in.
Yep, thank you. I think before I jump into a few things that I would like to share with you guys about just some tips that I take, that I would like to share with you on the what to prepare before, during, and after the client meeting, because we're going to match you guys soon, and you guys are going to have a meeting with clients soon. So I would like to share some tips on that. But before I get into that, I would love to hear some of the feedback and any experience that the current intern have been going and working on the account. And if you guys want to share your own personal experience so that everyone in the group can learn from you as well. Raven, Annie, Adnan, or even Vivian, if you're in the call, feel free to come off the mute and share some feedback.
Adnan, I'd like to hear from you because you're the most recent one that came into the office and did some work. Are you there? Can't see him. I'm not sure if he's on the call. If he's not, Raven, I just wanted to ask you a question about uni. So are you wanted to get some more hours. Is that part of a university process, or is that just for your own experience?
For my own experience, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you apply for RMIT to have the work experience as a subject?
No, I'm not in MIT. I'm from UniMount.
Because I've got an RMIT application.
Okay.
From somebody, but it doesn't have its name. It's a will agreement for me to sign, but it doesn't say who it's for. And I'm like, where'd it come from? So I've got 30 people on there, and I don't know who it's for. So I've gone back to RMIT, and I teach at RMIT. Yet I'm like, surely you would put in more details. It's like, fill in this for the student and tell me who the student is. So I have no idea. But
yeah, and I think the student should have emailed you as well if they want you to sign the will agreement. Yeah,
well, that's what I was thinking as well. But anyway, yeah, don't know. But I'll talk to you offline about that. Your message, right? So we talked about it internally this morning. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Is it the other people there?
Annie?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's a bit lacking.
like, I'm sorry. I think it's because of my Wi-Fi. But yeah, so far my experience has been pretty good. Like my first day of work, it was just all about admin like stuff. I got the brief and I did the task. That's basically it. So like, I think it's been good so far. Nothing really hard.
Cool.
Can anyone
And
hear
it-
me?
Yes, I can
Yeah.
hear you.
It's just a bit
Okay.
laggy. So
Yeah.
you at home?
Yeah.
That's one thing you should watch out for is if our internet's a bit dodgy, we might need to go somewhere else for client meetings. Just
Yeah,
be aware of that.
Usually I would go to like the library for like better Wi-Fi, but yeah, this not today.
Yeah, that's okay for our team. It's internal meetings less, important than a client meeting in that regard. So it's still important, but it's, we're more forgiving than the client. So when you're meeting with a client and they're short of time, they can get a bit grumpy if you, not at you, just it's, frustration with the internet. So
Yeah.
just a tip. All right, Pearly?
Yeah, cool. Is anyone else wanna share something before I move on? All right, so I thought I'll jump into my sharing now. So there's a few tips that I would like to share on, before the client meetings. So what I have been doing at the moment, or I have observing when, even Raven or Vivian is coming into the client meeting. So here's a few things. So first, I think it will be beneficial if you learn about the client that you're gonna take on first. So before having a meeting with them, obviously the marketing coordinator of that client will lead the meeting for you in the first meeting, but it would be great if you, read their website, go through research about their social, so you know what they really do, what is their industry, what are their services, and also before jumping into the client meeting, it's always good to have an internal meeting with your coordinator as well. Just for the background of the project, any campaigns that the marketing coordinator is doing. So you have a little bit of background information on the client, the project, and the scope of work that you will be soon taking on from the marketing coordinator or assisting them. The second thing is understanding your role. It's always good to, clarify whether you will just observe, you take notes, or what kind of the task you're going to contribute to that project. So it's just clear at the start on what kind of responsibility and the task that you're going to do. Also bring a notebook or a laptop ready to use for notes taking. I know that nowadays we use a lot of AI tool that can take notes for us, but it's good if you can if you have time to write down as well, because I have experienced some technical difficulty before, where we forgot to click record a meeting by AI, or the AI just take the note but they didn't transcribe the meeting. So it's always good to have your own notes that you can refer back after the meeting. And finally, before the meeting, review the agenda and the materials as well with the marketing coordinator, knowing that what they gonna present during the client meeting, or any key points that they're gonna go through it, so that you're aware of it, and prepare one or two thoughtful questions in case the client asks you or the marketing coordinator asks you during the meeting. So just get prepared before the meeting. So and prepare to introduce yourself as well, because it's where you're gonna start introduce yourself the first meeting to the client. And then during the client meeting, the first thing is be professional but low profile, dress properly, arrive early or on time, just greet them politely and let the coordinator lead first. Perhaps don't jump in unless they invited you to. Next one is take notes, capture any key client concern, any key goals that they mention, and any next step or key action after the meeting that you need to do. Sometimes it will help the marketing coordinator as well, because things can slip through. That's why you're there to assist them through the process. If they forget, you'll be there to assist them. making sure that any key action and step is progressed. And also it's good to note down how the coordinator structure the conversation as well, whether they always start with the, a casual chat to learn more about the client, and then before jumping into any, technical business work. So just take note on that, just for your own experience, and also observe actively. Always pay attention to body language, the tone, how the relationship has been managed by the marketing coordinator, and notice that any type of the question that the client asks, and how the marketing coordinator responds, so that you can learn for next time. If the marketing coordinator is not there, you can expect what kind of information you will be asked to prepare for it. Yeah. And finally, after a client meeting, one thing that we always do after a client meeting is we will write a summary note as a marketing coordinator. But I think as an intern who will be there to assist them, I think it's always good to debrief with them first. So, ask what went well, what challenges there were, and why certain approaches were taken. If you have any question for them, if you are not sure what are the key action that you need to take after the meeting, or if anything that the client or the marketing coordinator need help with, you can always clarify in that debrief meeting. And share your notes as well, and check if it's useful for the official meeting summary that the marketing coordinator want to send to the client, so you're contributing to the process. And finally, just reflect for yourself. What did you learn about the client expectation? How did your coordinator balance listening and presenting? What would you do differently if you were leading? Because eventually you will take on the lead for some of the conversation or some of the meeting. So it's always good to reflect and improve. Yep, so that is my sharing. Is there any question or any thought on that? Yes.
So
Sure.
when you mean by debrief with your coordinator, is this Andrew, or is this will be our the boss
Yeah.
of the company?
Yeah, I think if you get matched with a social star client, they always have a marketing coordinator already. So that debrief will often be with the marketing coordinator of that client. But I think with BYOB, with BYOB, I think it would be me in the future. Because if you have any question, just ask me, so that I can assist you with that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Raven?
Hi, Polly. Yeah, could you please clarify what the client's expectation is?
Be different for each client, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think it depends.
Yeah, could you give me some examples?
Yeah.
Like this?
So I'll just jump in, Pearly. So when I'm working with clients, the first thing I want to know is what's the biggest priorities. We were just talking about this before in our meeting. And so when we're looking at matching, we're looking at their location first. If we can get the same city, that'd be great. If we can't, that's, we'll work with what we've got. But then the second thing is, what's their biggest need right now? And so if they haven't got a website, and they haven't got any social media, then that's probably the biggest need. Then if they've already got a website and social media, great. What do they need help with running the most? Is it blogs? Is it posts? Is it scheduling? Is it following up commentary? And so for you, asking great questions to them about what their biggest problem is, because one thing would be great is if you really owned one section. So rather than just sort of dabbling and doing a bit here and a bit there, if there's one thing you could really, say it's, okay, we don't have any blogs, right? Great. Can I write blogs for you? And then we could help you come up with the structure of how we write blogs and a bit of a process, but you'd need to write them. And then there's something you could own and go, oh, so I wrote 10 blogs for this client and this was the result over the 6-month period. And so therefore you've got a bit of an asset You might do other tasks, but if you had one thing that you could really own, that'd be great. Or, and we're not expecting you to build websites because that's quite difficult, but you might manage the website building process for them, collect the content, research the market. You could research different website providers. You could, if Social Star is going to be the website designer, then you would liaise with our team and learn the process of building websites. So, being the person to collect the content from the client is super useful. Get all their photos from 10 years ago into one spot, sort through them, find the ones that are like there's all these things you could do to assist the process. Then you could go, I helped a client get their website from nothing to live. So it's that's the expectation is, well, what do they want? But it's also could be, Pearly, I don't know if you meant this as well, is showing up. What do I expect? Do I expect you to be in person or remote? When are the meetings? Do I expect you to take notes and minutes and actions? Because everyone's different. This is the thing, is every business owner is, we had one client who, because our normal thing is creating content. And so we were, we're like, well, we will create content for you. But we had all this conflict because she actually wants to write the content. She doesn't want us to do it. But I go, that was the only thing we offered back then. So it was like, well, she wants to do it and we want to do it, and go, we should have done something else, right? But we kind of didn't, and that was my fault. I didn't clearly ascertain, what we should do at the start of the process. I just leant into what we normally do. So, but that's a great question. And look, there's a lot of things you can do and research yourself in terms of, what questions should I ask of my business owner? AI is just a phenomenal tool for you to learn in what you should do. But there's nothing like talking to somebody and just listening, open-ended questions. What are you looking for? How can I help? What can I do for you that'd be the most value? Like, those are great questions. And they might say, oh, I need everything. Well, you can't do everything, right? Okay, so if, maybe there's 10 things. Great, what's the most priority? What would make the most difference right now in the next few months? What's the thing you hate to do the most? Because you don't want to do the things they love, right? You want to do the things that they don't like. So these are great questions that you can ask. So it's a good thanks for raising that, Raven. It's really useful.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Sharita?
Thanks, Andrew.
Hi, I had another question.
Sure. Questions are free.
So from my previous internship experiences, when I've asked these questions about expectations, they're like not dumbfounded, but they're also confused on what they want. So how should we move forward? And when they're like, I don't know what you should do. So
yeah,
what should we do?
Well, and that's not asking you shouldn't go, what should I do? You ask them what you do need. And that's a different question, right? And businesses are a bit different because they probably have lots of complicated things they do, but small business owners are much more, they need more help, and they need more help with basic things. So we were just talking over there, and one of our people on the Bob course, Tiana, is doing work for us as well. So it's a sort of a multifactorial relationship. Anyway, and she was saying that for her partner, who's in another one of my Bob programs, that the thing that he needs most is scheduling content, right? So she's picked that up. I didn't know that, and he's quite good at making content, but so it's very specific, scheduling content. Now she knows that. Now, so I presume if you asked him, he would say, oh, well, it's either that or writing blogs. They're the two things that I need the most help with. And then you could assess, well, what could I add the most value to? If you're not used to writing blogs, if you're not good at it, then I wouldn't lean into that. I'd lean into the scheduling. Then you could come to Pearly and go, great, so what's our process for doing that at Social Star, right? And hopefully we'll have a document or something where you could read and learn. But obviously you would do the 131 and research it yourself before you came and ask her. But we'll give you the way we do it, which you could utilize, because CampusLife, because I own both, we can utilize the methodologies which we've created, which will really help you kind of learn best practice in the industry. In fact, we had a client today who it's one of Pearly's clients, and we're doing a monthly review, and he was reflecting on the student that he had previously who used to do the work before we got to do the work. And he's like, oh, I thought they would have come out of uni knowing how to do marketing. I'm like, no, because it's experiential, right? And there's just so many different varieties of, things that you could do. And so, you know, it's just not like that. And so one thing that we are cautious of is that, you know, you'll still need guidance in how to do things. But we can't be your account managers for every client, because otherwise we'd be charging SOFA star rates, because it's expensive time. That's why we need you to do 90% of the heavy lifting and get Pearly to help you with the 10%, right? So leverage your buddies, leverage AI, leverage research, you know, find as much about find it. If you say, what does a client want? I'm like, I don't know. Have you asked them? You know, that's your role, is to be proactive. And the thing is, the more that we get you to do, the more you're going to learn, right? Because that's the key. You know, it's the challenges is where you get the biggest learning curve. You know, we had a conversation at our team meeting this morning about challenging clients, because we've all got them. You know, there's clients who push us and challenge us and, you know, stretch us, upset us even. And so, but that's also a learning curve in terms of, okay, how do I relate to that? You know, how do I, if that happens again, what should I do? What could I do different next time? What could I improve in advance? You know, where could I put myself in their shoes? All of these things are learning experiences. Now, you don't want too many of them, because it's not, you know, it's not good to be, you know, you need some successes along the way as well. But it'll probably be like the 80-20 rule. You have 80% of things will go well and 20% it won't, you know, and that's just life, you know, that's just how it rolls. So I expect, you know, you will have challenges and you'll have frustrations, you'll have uncertainty. And I'm looking for you to be resourceful, to be resilient, to, you know, use the 131 and to leverage on our team when you get stuck, you know, and our team's really good at that. They probably try and do too much before they lean on management for support. And so, you know, but they probably do 90%, and then 10% they're like, oh, hey, I need some help with this. But the thing is, they know we're here to support them. You know, we're like an umbrella. You know, it might be thin, but we provide good coverage. I'm not thin. Oh, that's the opposite of me, but it's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. So yeah, anything you want to share with that, Pearly? Maybe talk from your own experience.
About the client experience, I think the good thing is clarifying a lot of questions and manage the expectation, because I think what we reflected on, you know, during our meeting this morning as well, is that it doesn't matter what it's matter on your skills and what the client needs. But I think the thing that is more important is the outcomes. So you want to leverage your most suitable skills to the needs of the client, so that it can match, and that you can optimize, and you can, you know, use your skill in the most efficient way to bring in the most into the better outcomes. So yeah, so I think it's my reflection and my sharing on that. And if I think if there's too many expectation or too many tasks that I asking you to do, just reflect back on it, and as Andrew mentioned, try to manage the priorities, and ask them a lot of questions so that you understand. I know, and that they understand, and you also understand that, okay, there's a 10th thing in the list, but let's pick out the most like priorities one, so that we can focus on getting things moving first, before you can jump into the next one, the next one, and the next one, until you finish the list. Yeah.
And Pearly's very good at planning ahead, having structure, and then, you know, doing the work and then reiterating sort of the value, like, you know, sending an email after the meeting and those sorts of things. So let's say that you meet with a client and they say, can you do this task, right? Now, if you're unsure, you can ask questions, but, you know, we can't do too many, you know, questions. So what we're going to do is then go, great, let me reflect, and then I'll get back to you. You might go do some research, reflect, you might ask us, then you'll come back and go, great, just to reiterate what we talked about, is this what you're looking for? Now, the other thing we need to do is hold ourselves to a high degree of activity. So we need to make sure that we're not waiting 2 months to get the first blog out. because that's not going to be suitable to make it, because they're going to be perfect, right? It's not going to be perfect, right? But we need to get it to a high standard, but to them, right? And so it's great if we can get a quick win to build confidence, you know. So let's do a task, you know, that they need and go, great, we need this, cool. Let's get working on that. Let's, you know, get a sample in front of them. And it's all about expectation setting, like Pearlie said. So, you know, you might say, look, I know you want a few social posts. Until we get used to working together, I'm going to share you a few, and you might hate all of them, but I want you to review them to give me feedback. So therefore, the expectation is, okay, these aren't going to be final. You'll show them, you show them to your buddy, maybe show them to Pearlie, you know, great. Present them from the client, they might go, oh, actually, I like these. So their expectation is low and they've gone higher. If you go, great, here's the one post we should do. They'll be like, oh, but there's these problems. You know what I mean? So it's learning how to work with people is the hardest thing, you know, and that's the skill I want you to get. And then you need the technical skill, right, of the doing. So there's being an account manager is both. And this is why it's a craft, right? And, you know, Pearlie's got some good experiences, you know, I mean, she's run some pretty big accounts, so she'll better help you with that. And look at, you know, we'll probably review them on these weekly meetings. Let's get someone on, show me your example. Okay, this is what I see about that. You know, I still review, you know, slide decks and stuff from the staff, but obviously my time's limited, so I can't do it for everybody. So that's why I have processes. So, hey, I noticed we're at time. Is there anything else we wanted to cover today, Pearlie?
Yeah, just a few notes on the missing information on the app. So Annie have been helping me to, you know, record your personality test. And we noticed that there's a few missing personality test results on the app. And Annie has reached out to those who have incomplete profiles. So if you can, please update the result by the end of today so Annie can finalize the records, because this will help us to match you with the client, and not only based on your skills, but also on the personality fit as well. So just make the experience more effective and rewarding for both sides.
I've got to go to my meeting, but I'll say goodbye now. I'll let you finish up, Pearlie. Okay.
Oh, good. See you, Andrew.
Bye.
Yep, and also thank you guys for sending through your preference on the clients that you would like to work on. Momina and I already take note on that, and tomorrow we'll sit down together and map out who we're gonna work on which account, and we'll inform you about that. Is there any question for me? All right. How are you going with the course content and resources? If you have any question, feel free to let me know as well. Yes, Cassie?
I just had one question, not about the course content, but I saw on LinkedIn that the BOB showcase is on the 25th of September. Is that also an invite for the interns to also come?
I think it's good. Let me double check with Momina.
Okay.
And then I'll get back to you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, it's all good.
Would you like to attend that one?
Yeah, I mean, if the invite is open to the interns, I'd love to come. I want to see what it's like in person.
Oh, good. No worries. Okay, I will update you guys on that on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Yep, all good. There's one more question. Yes? Sorry, I can't see the name right now, but I think someone was raising their hand. Okay. All right, so I know we're at time. So if there's no any other question, I'll finish up today. I just want to know how to write the short summary on the profile. Okay. Right. So is there someone who already write a short bio on the app that want to share how you did it? And I think is where you can just share your most skill sets there. Just a quick bio of you, what you need, are you doing, your copy, your personality test, you can put in there as well, because I don't think there's a section for you to put in personality test in other section, but you can put the personality test result in the bio itself so that we can report it. And use AI, to be honest, to maximize the time. And you can refine it based on your personal tone of voice. I think Cassie, you have a really good bio on the app. Do you want to share how did you write it?
Hold on, let me just think what I did. I remember putting just like a short sentence of my interest, and then I put in like my certifications that I've learned, like my HubSpot social media marketing. I even put like my Google Ad Search certification. And then I did a short training course with Meta Ads as well. So I just put like what I learned in that training course, just like 1 or 2 sentences, just to make it, you know, like a summary.
Yeah, that's great. I think of it like the thing that the business owner gonna see first thing when they go through your profile. So you want to make that first impression to them. So when they see your profile, they know exactly what is a skill set or any certification that you have, so that they know if you are suitable for their needs or not. So yeah, treat it like that. All good. Yep. Is there any other question? All right. Otherwise, I'll see you guys probably tomorrow during the Bob call. If not, next week in our virtual weekly virtual. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a good day. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, Pearly.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.
See you guys.